Yeah, we estimated in some of the studies we've done, Mark, is that would mean something to the tune of $500 million a year coming into California.
And could this money be directed towards generating alternative energies?
It could. That would have to be taken as a policy initiative by both the public and the legislators. But from our perspective, it would make sense to dedicate a significant portion of those royalties to renewable energy, such as solar and wind and other renewable technologies.
Well, maybe that's your hook to get these environmental groups to back this project, because once new tax revenues come in, everybody in the state, everybody wants their own things funded, and that money can just disappear.
And in the case of Santa Barbara, they could potentially also have a direct share of that as well.
Okay, great. Well, as long as I get my 6%, I'm happy. Speaking of disappearing, this show's over. I want to thank Jim Nelson on the phone. Thank you, Jim Nelson, and Bruce Allen in the studio for coming in. SOSCalifornia.org is the website. It's not up yet, but bookmark it and look April 26th for the Natural History Museum workshop, Earth Day. We're going to be Town Hall Forum. Welcome back. Mark Schneidman's Radio Real Estate Weekly Multiple Listing Sales Update. I actually should have just blown it off. As I was saying goodbye to them, of course, I didn't get a chance to ask them about the tankers. And, aren't you going to still need tankers? And they said that, well, you would still need some tankers, but the vast majority of it could be piped right to, offshore here, and then all the way down to El Segundo and various refineries that we have throughout California. It'd all be piped, or most of it would be piped. But and then I asked, as we were walking out the door, I asked about, well, what about Alaska? How's that working out? Is that, spills up there and problems? And they didn't mention any. And they said that they've been doing it for 30 years, and everyone gets a check in Alaska. So I thought, well, that's pretty good. Everyone in Santa Barbara get a check, and we'll see this thing go through a lot more quickly. Okay, well, not too much to report here. Obviously, it's the first week of the year, 2008. I'm not going to look at year end for a couple of weeks to let all the dust settle and all the sales be reported. But we covered that a couple of weeks ago and looked at year to date. But I did want to mention quickly about the inventory. My goodness, the inventory just dropped dramatically. Just 3 weeks ago, we had a net number of listings of 510 single-family homes. 510. And because of just things getting withdrawn, expiring, not because they all sold, but we're at 428. So we went from a net number of 510 to 428. That's not in escrow. If someone asks you, well, what is in escrow? Well, you could say 13% of the current listings are in escrow. This is just single-family homes. We got a lot of condos and other properties. 13% of the 492 listings are in escrow, leaving you a net number of 428. If you look at what's under $1 million, 21% of the listings under $1 million, single-family homes, are in escrow. And so out of the 153, that leaves you 121 properties to look at. So if you want to go look at 8 properties a day, that'll take you a while. You could look at all 121 listings under $1 million. And just 3 weeks ago, there were 153. Now, last year at this time, I said we had 121. Last year at this time, we had 107 listings available, net number of listings under $1 million, compared to today, 121. So not a huge number more. Overall, we had 403 listings, and today, net number 428. Last year we had 15% of them in escrow. Today, 13%. So no earth-shattering shattering movement there. For the first week, we had 21 new listings hit the books. 5 of them were under $1 million. Median price $1,455,000. 5 opened escrows, and 8 closed listings for the first week. Low of $1,195,000 over on Brenner, and that sold immediately, by the way, and a high of $9,490,000 up on Freehaven. And 8 of the sold listings for the first week, you know how many were under $1 million? 0. That might be a first. Of course, there was only 8, so it's not you can't really do anything with that kind of number, or it doesn't mean anything. But it was just kind of unique. I don't know if I can't remember ever seeing that. And the median price for the 8 sold listings was $3,100,000. $3,100,000. And let's see. I went back to 2006 on the end of the year. Yeah, again, it's kind of funny. The numbers on the net number listings, they were all about the same. Okay, we'll come back in again a couple of weeks and have a little more year-end statistics for you on Mark Schneidman's Radio Real Estate. Although I do encourage you to invest in real estate, remember, goodness is the only investment that never fails. Stay tuned. I'll be back next time at this time for another edition of Mark Schneidman's Radio Real Estate. I'm your local Coldwell Banker Realtor. You can go to radiorealestate.com. You can call me after the program at my Santa Barbara office, 452-2428, 452-CHAT, if you want to buy or sell a property or with any real estate question, because remember, I can answer any question eventually.